It's hard to understand the way that you went out. I bet you're living with a little hint of doubt. Maybe next time when you gotta show your hand, you won't cut and run, you'll finally make a stand. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Existential questions always get you down. All you want to know is are we lost or found? Is there something that you feel you need to chase? I bet you thought you put me in my place. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. You can run, you can hide, but inside, I'm finally getting to you. Yes, it's true. I still love you, but I am getting to you.
Stand by to initiate release sequencer. On my mark. 5,
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2, 1. Mark.
Welcome back to the Nasally Resupply with me, guy next door.
Me, coughing DK.
And me, the guy who gave DK the cough ban.
STD Than, bringing you
Hey,
your...
thanks for taking that blame right off the top.
Yeah.
So I was gonna be like someone, and I'm not naming any names, but it was 100% Than.
Patient zero. We're bringing you your semi-regular double tap of all things Space Marines and Laser Force. Hello to you fine gentlemen there. Hello to you all in chat. Nice to see everyone. It's been a couple of weeks. I was having a look at the uploads. I was like, fuck, have we not done a show since the middle of February? Yep.
We're really slacking. Force Pro Sports is leaving us in the dust with their like 3 times a week programming.
Who? No.
Yeah, fuck those guys. Who cares?
Now we're busy. We've been busy beavers. And obviously it's been a minute since I've done a show. Oh, we've got a hype train incoming.
That means everyone's monthly subscription is up, and now we're renewing it.
It essentially means, hey Tucker, it essentially means I get free Prime, but don't tell anyone. Yeah, I highly recommend you do that. It's good loophole. Nice to see you guys. How's things? How you feeling?
I mean, I'm feeling much better since I, went to the doctor after I got home from Loveland and, got told that, oh yeah, you have bronchitis, so here's some drugs. So I've taken the drugs, and now a week later, I'm fine. So It's cool.
Hey,
Would you
Tucker.
undertake intense physical activity while you were sick and stress your lungs out even further, you crazy old man?
Yeah,
Possibly.
you may die.
So so technically, I don't think I had bronchitis when I got there. I think I just had whatever that eternal
That's what I'm
cough
saying.
is that's going around. And then yes, and then because we all know that I can't fucking limit myself because I just can't. Yeah, perhaps I could have dialed it back a little bit while in the arena, but no.
But you're
And
not a pussy, so
you know, that's
yeah.
debatable sometimes. But yeah, it definitely. I didn't do myself many favors. Tucker's like, I wondered why you sounded like death every game. Yeah, because I was literally fighting for air. That's literally why I had. So, Steve-O, you'll appreciate this.
Yeah.
I literally had to pull your trick and go get
some
the
canned
can of
air.
air.
Good man.
I
I was
had
about to
get the
ask.
canned air.
Yeah.
I literally ended up doing that because I could not actually get enough air into my system because my lungs were just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, listen to some bitch huff and puff like when you got up to third floor when I was reffing up there, and it just like one game I serious was like, bro, are you okay? You sound like you're about to pass out here.
Puts the stogie out. He's like, oh, good.
Yeah.
No, I remember that. It was like, I remember you guys like, are you okay? And I was like, not really, but you know, it's fine.
Well, I'm glad you're on one piece. It's weird because last time I was in Colorado, as you say, I had to also get the air canister because somehow I caught fat on the way to the tournament, and it really affects you at altitude. So I feel your pain.
That's what happens when you cross the equator. It's like having a camera on you adds 10 pounds. Crossing the equator adds like, I don't know, 100 pounds probably.
Yeah. Like my belt was below my equator, you know.
That's science right there.
That is science. Debatable science. No. Cody, hearing someone was sick of Loveland, you didn't catch it. It's a miracle. It is a miracle that not everyone got you whatever you had. And I'm just gonna say it, like maybe it's not the Kiwi AIDS. Maybe we're not the ones making people sick.
From New Zealand.
Oh yeah.
How is it not?
No, to be fair, I didn't get sick until I was back literally for like 4 or 5 days. So I'm fairly certain that it was not Kiwi AIDS. I'm fairly certain that it was just garden variety PNW cough.
What's a PNW?
Pacific Northwest.
Pacific Northwest.
Oh, the old Pinwa.
Yeah.
The old Pinwa. You getting sick out on your install? Oh, gay. That's no good, dude. Yeah. I mean, you know, it sucks when some old dude makes everyone else sick.
Yeah.
Did you go
Someone
to a concert?
check on Snuffles because he always gets sick too. He's probably on his deathbed.
Oh, he's long gone.
I mean, he was on Than's team, so he got probably even more exposure than I did.
Yeah, and also got sick. Right. I assume the trip was good, and we're going to talk about it ad nauseum because that's essentially the topic of the show today. But we had some stuff happen down this end of the world, which has been pretty fun. So, we in Auckland, the zone community have been gathering. They've had their internationals, nationals, whatever they call it, nationals, I think.
Some sort of tournament.
Yeah, they had nats of their own, which is different from Worlds. For anyone who didn't know.
Well, yeah, because it's different in terms of where the teams are drawn from. So
yes, I mean, I guess, but there's, I guess. What's up, Brad? So, okay, speak of the devil. Being Wake was one of those lovely zone people who have been in Auckland for the last couple of weeks having a hoon. Last week, not Tuesday just gone, but the one before it, we had a very large contingent of zone players come and join us for our members night, and it was fun as shit. It was so much fun playing a big group of proper zone players in our arena playing. You know, we played Space Marines all night. For those of you who were at our Nats last year, you know, we had Gazza turn up and play, and was basically like, I just want to play Space Marines all night. We were like,
Cool.
aye, Captain.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can of blood.
Boy, twist the other one. Like, wow, that's so rough to play Space 5 all night. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, we've
The
had
worst.
you know who didn't turn up though is
Who didn't turn up?
that fucking Taipan guy, which I was like, you coming, right? He's like, yeah, I'll be there. Nah.
Oh, I heard he's retired.
Yeah. Apparently that's the thing that floats around the zone scene as well. Everyone's like, oh yeah, he's retiring. I'm like, oh, okay. You guys have that too? Cool.
So basically what I'm hearing is that Taipan's a lying liar face who lies.
Yeah, he's lying liar face who lies. He happy birthday to him, by the way. Yeah, it's his birthday this week.
No,
so,
absolutely not.
I'm gonna give
No
him a
happy birthday to him. He's a lying liar face who lies. Who didn't show up to your guys' member nights.
Indifferent birthday at best.
Birthday. This is what number 6? I don't understand that question.
Like the sixth
Like
time
retirement,
that-
maybe?
Oh,
Yeah.
use grammar, dude. Better grammar.
To be fair, he is a product of the American education system, so
So yeah, that was really fun. It was awesome to have them there. They had just done a day trip from Auckland to Rotorua and back.
oh god.
To which I was like,
Drive.
that's not a day trip. That's a
Overnight.
overnight excursion. That one.
Yeah, that is 100% an overnight excursion. That is
Yeah.
not a drive down, do a thing, drive. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you can because they did. But
Yeah.
that's not.
But they're pretty munted when they got there.
Yeah,
Was it like 3.5 hours? Something like that?
Each way if there's no traffic,
Yeah.
which of course there was. So I
so
think
it's
Wake.
so it's 4 easily.
Yeah, I
with
think Wake was
traffic.
saying they did like 8 or so hours of driving that day. I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
it's a bit
brutal,
much for my
dude.
taste.
Yeah, fuck that shit. And then you
Unless
also
that's all I'm doing for the day.
yeah, exactly. Then it's fine. But they went down, did touristy stuff, and then drove back. Like, you know,
And then did more touristy stuff because they played lasers.
that's not touristy. That's different.
That's kind of touristy.
That's
That's kind of
different.
touristy.
That's business.
That's business time. Yeah, so they came and played. I think for the most part, had a pretty good time. Played really well. We had a conversation at the start around like the rules because it's always a thing that like, you know, both communities are acutely aware of. But you know, we were like, look, honestly, you guys are locked in for a tournament. We don't give like try your best, but nobody's gonna give you any shit. And yeah, there was a lot of covering, but that's fine. Like, that's what it is. But yeah, it was a really good time. It's a shame, you know, like that you can't have that every week, I guess. But yeah, it was really fun. And then we're from West Australia. 3 hours is just down the road. Yeah, exactly right.
Okay. He does make a really valid point with that. That's kind of like being in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being in Texas, like, oh, that's 3 hours away. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
In
That's
general, I feel like a lot of Americans have like a higher threshold for like what they consider to be a long drive during the day.
Yeah.
Like especially like having a discussion with someone from the UK where it's like, oh yeah, like a long drive is 2 hours. Like that's forever to get them by. I'm just like, that could be someone's fucking work commute in the States in a lot of places.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like that is what it is. That's fine. 2 hours,
Yeah.
no problem.
To me, that's a waste. It's a waste of life.
Oh, you get no
Yeah.
argument from me.
Yeah, fuck that shit. You know, obviously I don't commute, so what do I know? But I also got sort of asked if I wanted to come up and hang out during their social evening, the evening of which they all partake in some alcoholic beverages, which I think is like was like the Wednesday. No, it was the Tuesday night because I skipped lasers and went up there. Yeah, actually, to be fair, I played the first hour and then I went up and hung out, so I got a taste of both. But yeah, it was cool. I only got accosted the one time from one zone player who was inebriated, telling me why zone is the superior game. And And
Taipan, how could you do that? What a traitor.
Taipan left and didn't say goodbye to me.
Oh.
At one point I was like, is Taipan still here? I'm gonna go like and say goodbye to him. And they're like, nah, he left like at least an hour or two ago. I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
Taipan, you're on the shit list today, bro.
cool, bro.
This fucking guy. What?
I sent him a text. I was like, "Are you still here?" And then he got back to me like 2 hours later at night. Like it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. Nah, bro, home. I'm like, clearly. Yeah. But that's cool because at this point, you know, there's a handful of people, including Wake and Chat, that I'm familiar with from the scene. So it was cool to catch up. And
Nice.
there was a couple of guys that I recognize from my stint up at Worlds a couple years ago. So yeah, it was cool to kind of catch up, and they did let me on the microphone again for a stint during some of their round play.
Good call.
I was keen to do more, but the way they do their production is so good, and it's kind of
Yeah, we can't compete with that.
they're just we get their voice. Yeah, yes. But that's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it saves me from giving him shit. No, so they like just being up there and kind of seeing behind the scenes of how they run. They have a revolving team of people who are producing, and they've got a schedule of revolving commentators.
Oh, okay.
And I think this year, I mean, to be fair, I only caught like a very small amount of the commentary, but I think their commentary teams have been hand selected, and also have kind of been told, hey, you need to stick to actually talking about the game while the game is happening.
Right.
Because this particular one seemed a lot less a lot less talking about sandwiches or whatever the fuck else people talk about while they're on stream. Which, you know, I think is a good thing. Like if you're gonna commentate the sport, like do it properly.
Commentate the fucking sport. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it makes it a little hard because they because they're so fast with their scheduling.
Yeah.
They play 4 games an hour. And there's a turnaround of about 2 minutes, if that, between games. So that in and out like lightning fast. Everything is running smooth. It's organized for the most part. And yeah, just having their producers there behind the scenes, handling things like replays, handling scene changes, so that the commentators also have control over that as well. Like it's really a well-oiled machine. We could learn a lot from the way that they do their productions.
Oh, agreed. If like the productions are a priority, I think part of the issue
True.
we're having right now with the community is that most everybody who would care enough to do the broadcasting probably wants to play in the tournament.
Yeah.
Or it's like, or take like what you did in 2024 now, where you basically sacrificed your entire week to do commentary and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like that's fine, but just the commentary alone takes a lot out of you. To also
It's
have to
massive.
be responsible for production and all that kind of stuff, like
Yeah.
it's too much for that small amount. Like we
Yeah.
would need to really, like you said, dedicate a team to doing that.
Yeah.
I kind of gave that a little bit more thought during the week, that I'm just like, I do kind of wonder if I will be a little more interested in getting into that side of things, like as my ability to participate in all the tournaments at some point hits a wall. Like I'm not saying that's going to be anytime soon, but
But
you know,
it's
I am
usually
cognizant of the fact that I'm in my 40s and it's not going to last forever.
true, but it's usually like you hit the wall and then you play another 2 to 3 years after that, whilst you're still trying to
Depends on the person.
Yeah,
Depends on the
yeah,
person.
true. Okay. But the other thing that makes it a little easier, I guess, is just the sheer volume of people that they have at those tournaments. I mean, they had
Right.
you know, I can't remember how many teams Wake said. If you're still in chat, bro, like was it like 20 or 25 teams or something?
The zone scene is larger than ours. I mean,
of course.
That's just a fact.
Yeah.
Like their tournament scene, it has a much larger pool of players
Yeah.
than ours does. Like it'll actually be kind of interesting to see if we hit some kind of like weird hard cap and looking at this year's Nats, where we're looking at probably like 12 to 14 teams, and it's
Really?
definitely more than we've done in the past. Beans has a lot of ideas as to how to get that done. Oh, which, by the by, like community note for everybody, this is a message directly from Beans. If you have not bought your flights and or accommodations for Syracuse Nats and you're planning to go, please do so ASAP. I'd say do it right now. I mean, you
Yeah.
have to leave the stream running in the background because we need those views and we need those clicks. But other than that, book your shit right now because things are filling up, and apparently our country's decided to bomb all the oil producing countries, which does only wonderful things for the price of flights. So obviously,
Yeah.
the real tragedy going on in world news right now is that it might be slightly hard to get your laser tag tournament. I think that is by definition first world problems, but
we don't
it's
tackle
all
anything.
I can comment on.
Yeah,
right
we
now,
don't
so,
tackle heavier
like,
shit here.
yeah, like get your tickets, get your stuff nailed down because there's that huge car show that's in Syracuse. There are people traveling for World Cup that are going to be NYC, so just like stuff gets booked, travel is going to be expensive. Like I definitely spent like closer to $1,000 on my flight to get out to Syracuse. That granted, that was with an upgrade, but like that's definitely more. It's more than I wanted to spend, but by the same token, like spending $700 to $800 to get to Syracuse is not unusual.
Yeah.
From here, it's just like having done Brisbane last year and Auckland a couple of years ago, like having another pretty pricey air travel ticket on there. It's just like, it's just yeah. But that's the price you pay for laser tag, and it's not. It's not really money I've ever regretted spending for that experience because it is one of the things that makes life worth living is to go do the things that you enjoy and to see the people that you care about. And
100%.
I wouldn't replace that for anything because that's last week was great. But anyway, back to the zone stuff.
Wake in chat says 24 teams, 135 players or so at that tournament. That's so fucking awesome.
It's awesome.
Like,
yeah.
And I do like I like how there is people are committed to going out there for almost 2 weeks, and there's a variety of different stuff on the cards. Like they don't just play their one format of the game. They have I think there's like 5 or 6 different like play or game modes. 5 or 6 different game modes. They did they have like a Masters event where it's I think you said everyone over 35 or 40. They've got a juniors event, everyone under like 20 or something. They've got a women's only event. They've got all these cool all this other cool stuff that they do. And that's not to say that I want to play anything at a tournament outside of Space Marines. But it is cool to see a bit of, some of that like old variation that we used to have, I guess.
For sure.
I guess we had Masters, and then for a period of time there was D&D tournaments, but
if we would just make Nats 2 weeks, and 1 week could be for like the non-Space Marines event, and the other week could be for Space Marines. But we need the week for Space Marines if we want to have a proper Space Marines tournament. We need the full week for that. But I wouldn't be opposed to certainly extending that out. I don't know how many players would actually be willing to sign to really sign on for that kind of thing. But I don't hate the idea if we just really had like a full like Laser Force Con, essentially, where it's like, there's going to be a week for non-Space Marines games. Like if I were running Laser Force, which I'm not obviously, like I would even link that to having like a trade expo of some kind to show off gear and do community events and that kind of thing. And then like drum up the interest and get people to watch the stream for Space Marines the following week, because that's like the flagship event. But I realize that is probably not a winning business investment. So much as that would be a cool thing for Space Marines players.
Yeah. Well, the sort of discussions around like a Australian New Zealand Armageddon scene was kind of floated in some of the conversations that I was having with some of the players, and for the most part there were people who were like, that would be a really cool thing to do. And even doing it local, like we here in Auckland, we have Zone, we have Strike, we have Force, and I think there's one other random site here one of the boys was telling me about. So it would
Okay.
be easy-ish enough to do like a weekend at Armageddon, New Zealand, or
To do
um,
something like that.
Mhm.
yeah, it would be cool. But it takes buy-in from players, and lock
Takes
it down
buy-in. It takes buy-in from site
from
owners as
site.
well,
Exactly.
because you start running into like, well, if you're trying to do it on a weekend,
Yeah.
then you're having to reserve out games at weekend prices,
Yeah.
which is not ideal on a host of levels.
Yeah. Or you're playing
Um,
at like 2 a.m. or stupid
which is
shit like that.
also not
Yeah.
ideal on a host of levels.
Yeah. But yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool to see some familiar faces. Really cool to have the conversations they were having. Yeah, it was just a really good time. Every time I go and kind of be around the Zone community, I've enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Well, sort of. I mean, I don't know if you guys know this about me. I'm a people guy.
Wow.
I
Hang on. Wait.
yeah
Hang,
yeah.
hold on. This is shocking.
Breaking
and
news.
Yeah,
Breaking
yeah.
news. This
Too
is
far,
shocking
too
and
far.
revelatory.
This is a little joke. Too far. Let's
information
move on.
That Steve-O is an extrovert and likes people.
But
Holy shit.
But like if I was to step in the like a bunch of them were like, dude, come and play, and I'm like, fuck no. No, thank you. I've played on some Zone equipment before. One, I don't like the equipment, and two, I don't like the way you play. But you guys are nice. Yeah, so I don't know. It would be really cool. And if it was for a weekend, I could fucking suck it up and play. It would be all good.
Well, and there is a practical reality where it's like, whether tag players or tag players, kind of no matter what the system, as a generalized statement,
Yeah.
like we're all kind of the same sort of genre of
Yeah.
nerd. So
And
it
you see
becomes
the kind of like
Yes.
you see the similarities with some players
Yes.
to the players that play. You're like, oh, you're a
Yeah.
such and such type.
Or it's just like, you like one of the following things: esports, Warhammer 40K, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, the
Like,
guy, the
It's
guy
probably you probably
was
like multiples of those things, but you like at least one of those things if you're like in this general orbit.
the guy that I was having this drunken conversation while I was drunk. He was drunk. He was telling me that I wasn't really interested. He was like, I think he wandered up to me. He's like, "Ah, you're the Force guy." I'm like, "Yeah, that's me."
Yeah,
Yep, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah,
The Force
he's
guy
like,
with the Force guy with the amazing hair. Yes, that's me.
but like one of the things he was like, I don't think I'll play it, although I really like Overwatch, so like maybe I like Space Marines. I'm like, yeah, they're the same, bro. Probably, I don't know.
That came up weirdly at Random Draw. Someone was talking about Overwatch as well. What is the crossover between Space Marines and Overwatch that I don't understand?
Squad-based combat game where where
like with role players,
different people have different positions.
Yeah, okay.
That's literally
Okay.
what it is.
I guess that makes sense.
That's
I'm
what
just
I
like,
thought.
that's like a lot of things to me. I know that's a lot of like co-op games, but I guess specifically like role specialization. that
Yes.
makes
Yeah.
a certain sense.
I think he was like, I'd hate to play as medic, and I was like, well, I mean, yeah, probably. And I
You're
think
not doing it right then.
he said something along the lines of like, I've achieved a lot in Zone. I just smash everyone, like so. Maybe I need a new challenge or something along the lines of that. And I was like, right on. I like you. Keep talking.
Yeah, come get your ass busted in Force.
Yeah. But it was really good. It was really fun. Except that, apparently Taipan didn't care to say goodbye, but whatever. We're seeing him on Tuesday,
Yes.
apparently. He's coming to members night, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Oh no.
All I have to say to you, Taipan, is see you next Tuesday.
He says he's coming to members night.
Yeah.
Whether or not he actually shows up, because he's already proven at least once that he doesn't show up when he says he's going to. So
He might. All right. Let's move away from Zone. We've talked enough about Zone for the rest of the year.
Don't talk about a real laser tag system.
Let me tell you why Zone is terrible. No. So obviously you boys have been away. You traveled across to the great state of Colorado to partake in high altitude laser tag.
Yes, we did.
Random draw.
Random Draw Space Marines. Yeah.
Yes.
How many
Yep.
days did you guys play?
3.
3 days. Okay, so not quite a Nats kind of involvement, but longer than a like a members night or mega members night.
Bigger
Yeah.
than a bread box, yes.
I think that's
down to.
kind of the usual pattern. Is we'll probably have like a 3-day tournament once a year. We have the Nats, which is 5, or this year 6-day event. I mean, some years maybe we've had 2-3-day events, but there's probably usually like a mega members night get together at some other point in the year. That's like kind of been how I've planned out my tag travel for the last few years. Has been like, okay, there's going to be a 3-day tournament of some kind. There's going to be a mega members night somewhere that may or may not be the same as that event, and there's going to be Nats. So let me make sure that I set aside the money to go do those things, and I'll at least get to play like hopefully like 3 times a year.
Yeah.
Which I'd love to be playing more than that, but if that's the best I can do right now, so be it. But yeah, good time, really good event, good to see people. I would probably say that of the random draws that I've played, my honest opinion is that this was the best one. I think it was the most fun. I think it was the most competitive in some ways, at least between the top teams, and it was, I would say, the most balanced. It wasn't perfect. Like I don't know if we got 100% of the way there. I don't know if it was an A plus, but it was a solid like probably B plus A minus. Like I'm a harsh grader, but like solid effort. I think it was really good, well planned, well run. I think it was good.
Yeah, I think with the, I mean, there's always going to be some healthy debate, shall we say, when you're putting people into tiers to break teams up. And for all the shit that I've given to Luke at various times, both to his face and behind his back. The reality is, like, the tiers overall weren't bad. Like, they were pretty decent. There were definitely a couple of kind of things that you kind of look back in hindsight and go like, ooh, that was incorrect. I am very specifically speaking about the tier I was put in because it hurt my ego.
What tier were you in?
I
Lowest?
I was in E tiers. I was down in tier 5. Which
out of how many?
Out of 6. Now, do I understand the case that was being made for putting me down there? Sure, because it was being judged on what they thought were basically pure 3-hit matchups. And I am admittedly, like, 3 hits not really my game. I mean, obviously I can do it because I can do it, but it's not really where I excel. And that's been the case for years. Like, that is no secret. However, the other, like, the overall gameplay combination with other people that were in the tier, like, this is again ego talking, but it's also factual. There was nobody else in that tier that was even within 3 tiers of me as a resupply. And so
Oh no, definitely not.
And so that particular matchup would get very broken very quickly. And so in a scenario where I would pull a resupply, okay, so the other E tier person on the other team pulls resupply, and there's just a practical reality there that I'm better. And I'm better by a wide margin, which meant that when we were getting pushed, it was a lot less likely that we were going to get broken because of a mistake that I'm making in a resupply. It's just, is it going to happen? Sure. Did it happen? Probably. Is it likely? No. As opposed to the other players who were in the E tier as resupply, which, I mean, they were all giving it their best. I'm not saying anybody was doing poorly, it's just a question of experience differential at that
Yeah.
point. Like,
The logistical support that someone like Fan can provide on the back end is just not replicable by the other E tier players. Just like Fan was saying, just for experience alone. Like nobody had, like Fan has more games of Space Marines 5 than all the rest of them put together.
Mm.
No question.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you
Yeah.
if you include like tournament Space Marines in particular, like I mean, Shadow Dagger's played Space Marines, but he didn't play that many tournaments. So
No.
I'm still gonna say that Fan has more meaningful Space Marines games than the rest of them put together.
Shadows from
And that's like
Chula
kind of
Vista,
one of
yeah?
the interesting things. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Has he been around many of these events?
No,
I was gonna say that's.
I can only think of maybe one or two other tournaments. He played the 2010 Nats, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah, I
maybe
met him.
played
I
one
met
of
him
the
there.
other. He might have played one of the other SoCal events, but
Yeah.
no, he doesn't travel for tournaments usually.
Yeah.
So this was like one of the first times he's been out.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Finally
I
has the
know
money to afford to go, I guess.
He kind of like, obviously like popped up in the Twitch community like early on.
Oh yeah, pretty
yeah,
regular tournament viewer for
Yeah.
sure.
That's rad.
Yeah.
So just from like that, honestly, me in that tier was probably the most glaring error.
Right.
But
But that's a
again,
good
like,
thing for you.
it was let's be very clear. It was fantastic for me. I am not arguing that. But you
Yeah.
know, but again, like, I understand, based on how the decisioning was being made, why I was there. Like,
Mhm.
I fully understand the reasoning.
Mm.
And one of the one of the pieces of feedback that I put in Luke's survey, that he actually, it was actually in the video that he released earlier today, where he was covering some of that, was basically like, if you do this again, basically, like, yes, wait the 3-hit ability higher, because the 3-hit ability will definitely break things faster in
Mhm.
Loveland. But maybe do like a 70-30 3-hit resupply wait, like scout to scout. And I'm not saying scouts are useless, because they are obviously not. But for purposes of the tier rating, you probably only need to do 3 and resupply, do a 70-30 split, and then kind of adjust it based on that, and you'll probably end up closer to a more ideal scenario. So
yeah, it's I mean, you guys know our game is so nuanced. There's so much to it that it's so hard to it's hard to get parity when it's random. And when you're trying to rank, Than as a player versus DK as a player.
DK is way better, obviously.
Yeah, well, okay, so I would say this: you and DK.
Okay, bad example.
Yeah, okay, good, because DK and you are very good resupply players, but he is clearly a much better attacking player than you.
Yes, 100%, no argument.
That's the difference, right? Like, it's hard to kind of, it's hard to take someone who is really good attacker but dog shit at like defense and compare them to someone who was okay across the board. Like, it's just
yeah.
I think the general theory is correct that Luke and the other Lovelanders, which by the way, all the other captains agreed to when we were ranking players as well, that
add a caveat real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just because it's hard to do doesn't mean we shouldn't try these things. I just want to make that clear. I'm not like, this is why we shouldn't do it. We absolutely should do it because it's fun as shit. But
yeah, no, and I'm definitely not not knocking the work that Luke did and did to get it balanced out. Like I said, overall, it was really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I said, that there was, it's just, there was one that I think was egregiously wrong. Me.
You were like a weird exception to the rule, specifically because of that fact. There was no one else in the tournament that has that kind of like differential where you provide so much more on like the support roles
Yeah.
relative to your absolute attacking performance at a 3-hit,
Yeah.
there's nobody else who really fit that criteria in the
Yeah.
tournament. So
And so
what I was saying
and-
is like in general, I agree with the theory that 3-hit play should be weighted most strongly if you're just comparing players head to head, like who is going to give their team an advantage there, especially like in Loveland, the heavy matchup. If there's a heavy
Yeah.
mismatch, like you kind of know how the game is going to turn out before it even starts because of how
Fair.
much pressure there is
100%.
at the start of the game to like capture appropriate positions and to hold off the enemy heavy. Like being able to actually play head to head with that person is really,
important.
really important. It's not the only thing that's important, obviously. And when it's really when players are like close, then you start evaluating them on those other criteria. But it's like, but I agree. Do that first. Think about like, okay, could this player take on this player at commander or heavy, and would it be a relatively balanced like matchup, or is one person significantly better in that role? Because that is going to have the greatest immediate impact on the game. But yeah, I really think that you see this especially at the very top level teams at a lot of Nats.
Yeah.
It is the teams that are like a little better in terms of their support players, their logistics, their resource management. That's what ends up separating them. But that's because the difference between their 3-hit players is not that big. The difference between 3-hit players in the very top teams and the 3-hit players at like the bottom ranked teams, that's a huge difference. That accounts for most of why there is that differential. But when those things get closer, then you need to start looking at those other factors. And again, it's like for Than, those
Edge
other
case.
factors are
It's
an
an edge case.
overwhelming kind of consideration that needs to be made. Like I think it would have been better, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. But if we swapped like you and Rockwood went down to E tier and you went to D tier for that reason. Now, again, it's like at D tier, would that differential have been as big? Like you obviously still have way more experience at Resupply versus the other D tier players, but like the 3-hit differential, I think maybe makes up for that a little bit more. But I don't think anybody was more than 1 tier away from where I quote unquote would have had them or where I thought they quote unquote should have been. So that to me suggests like it was pretty close. Like it's always going to happen that there's going to be somebody who has a little bit of an advantage built in because they happen to get a player who's at the top of their tier and another team gets someone who's like, well, if there were more players there, maybe that person would have been ranked in a lower tier, but they're there by default alongside some of these other players who are better than them, but it's close enough that they're kind of in the same neighborhood. That's always going to happen in tournaments, but that also means that some of those players where it's like, now is your chance to shine. Yeah, to say that, well, if you were underrated and you thought you should have been in a higher tier, you have the opportunity to provide a ton of value for your team. Yeah. And if you're someone who is, I could have been in the tier below, but I got ranked in the tier above, now's your chance to prove yourself, to go up against better competition and show that you can hold your own. So there are definite advantages to the way that system can work. Because, like, I'll be honest, looking at the team that did the worst, Luke's team, Darkness Rising, like I look at the team on paper, there's no reason they should have done that bad. But for whatever reason, whether it was chemistry, whether it was they got bad draws, whether it just the focus kind of wandered at various parts of the game, whatever happened, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I definitely think that as an overarching thing, the tiers were pretty damn good.
They're pretty good.
They're and the teams that were generated off of them were also like there wasn't really anything that I looked at team wise and went, oh, they are gonna just fucking struggle with everything. Like there wasn't really any of that, and I think that's borne out by like, okay, I mean, yeah, there weren't any teams that obviously got zeroed, which is always good. I never like seeing teams get zeroed. There were teams that I definitely thought underperformed, and Darkness Rising is definitely the perfect example of that. Like I thought they should have taken a few more points than they did, but sometimes the draws just weren't favorable for them, and that happens.
They also lost like some close games too, and
they did.
That can
100%.
That can disguise sort of a better than you would expect performance. It's like, well, yeah, it's like we lost the last 4 games, but all of them were within like 2,000 points, so it was they at least put up a fight. It wasn't like a complete slaughter.
Yeah, but they're really. I'm trying to remember, and there probably was at least one, but I'm trying to remember if there were any just like full wipe games where it was just like the game was just over super early. I think
There
was
were
like
a couple that I think
like-
were probably 6-7 minute elims where then it would happen where
like the ammo died or something, and it just
the
and it
ammo
just
died.
went all bad.
I think it did happen a lot, honestly, in games like you said, where you would end up with maybe like an E and F tier player resupply, where it's just somebody made some kind of crucial mistake, the ammo died out, they got separated, they didn't really know how to recover, and they didn't have, an E tier player who has 20 years of tournament experience to be like, okay, well, I know what to do in this situation. I just got to get people back together. We got to hold the back line and do this or that. Like they haven't reached that kind of level of thinking about things yet. So I think those were kind of the games where that would happen. But there weren't a ton of them. There were still a lot of elims because that's the nature of the Loveland arena. And sooner or later, like one team is going to get pushed and it's probably going to end early. But they were a lot of elims that were occurring at like minute 13 or 14. So they still had a good amount of play to them, which is why we didn't have time for as many games as the organizers initially thought. But as it turned out, like we really didn't need finals anyway. I'm kind of the opinion that you don't necessarily need that.
Not for random draw. Nah, I think a point standing is a better way of doing random draw because you would hope that it kind of averages out, or at least more so than it does over like a 2-game final series.
Well, and the way that I would also suggest that I think that we saw that it was a fairly balanced tournament is that the matches in the last block were actually meaningful.
Right.
Like Fan and my team, we had to play each other to determine who was going to be second, who was going to be third.
Yeah.
And either of our teams actually could have taken first if Slaughtermelon's team had, like, if they had gotten 6-0'd in their match. Like, technically speaking, whoever won the match between us and Fan, we would have gone to first. So there were actually meaningful matches all the way to the end. That's pretty rare in tournaments.
Yeah,
to actually have the last block of games be meaningful for seeding purposes.
Yeah,
and that suggests to me that actually, at least at that kind of top 3 team range, we were pretty close because there wasn't more than about 6 points separating the top 3 teams. So that I think is pretty good.
Thank you, Lucy. 56 month sub. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Leech, get here on time.
Yeah, that's definitely a skill issue at that
point. Luke's team also took single games from a couple of other teams, whereas my team, Cody's team, only beat Luke's team except for the game we paid off the revs.
Yeah, I would say, like, of the teams though, like looking at Cody's team, it was like, yeah, they got a little hosed by the draw because I mean, one, they had to take a rotating sub for their F-tier players. They didn't have consistency. That already throws things off. Much like it probably would have been better if like Fan had been swapped up a tier. It probably would have been better, honestly, if Shadow Dagger had been moved down a tier and had just been their consistent like F-tier player, and they took a rotating player from E instead. I think that would have improved their team experience because they also had Rockwood, whereas like, yeah, he was a D group player, but he probably would have done a lot better if he was an E tier. So it's like,
I mean, he's been playing
that kind of inconsistency at your bottom end is really, really difficult in a random draw tournament because you need that consistency. You need to build that trust over the week to like train your newer players.
Yeah.
Because if you're not able to do that, like you're getting a replacement body different games. So they kind of there's unfortunately like every random draw one team that just kind of gets screwed by the draw. It happened to be Cody and Josiah's team this time around, like, but like, at least they didn't get 0 pointed, right?
Yeah.
So
like, I'm sorry, I've been that team at the last random draw. I was that team. We just got screwed. It just happens, but it is what it is.
Who was on that team? Cody, Turkey, Azra, Shadow, and Rockwood. That's a good team.
Yeah, like in a vacuum. It's not bad, but yeah, compared to the other teams, it happens to be like where the kind of breakpoints were that it's just like, yeah, you had an E player who probably could have been F and a D tier player who probably could have been E. So it's like you get kind of the bottom of a couple of different tiers. That's when the things start stacking up. Like you would hope that in a random draw that you would kind of even out things that, okay, well, you choose somebody from the top of this tier, but you're probably not going to get the bottom of the other tier, but sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
But that was also part of the theory of why they wanted to try to rank players 1 to 36 and try to join players up so that if you were at the top of one tier, you would get the bottom ranked player from whoever was on kind of the opposite side of the bracket. So theoretically, like the best and the worst player in the tournament would have been paired together. And like me being at the bottom of A tier, I got quote unquote, the best, the most experienced F tier player as a way of like compensating for the fact that I was the lowest ranked A tier player. And like that was fine. I mean, I again credit a lot of the reason why I think my team did well was I followed my brilliant strategy of not drawing a lot of 3-hit games. Like I only drew 2 3-hit games the entire week.
It's amazing. Like
Yeah.
that's such a statistical anomaly. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is, and I think it worked in our favor. Like I didn't play my 3-hit games badly, but certainly I think the value that I provide to my team can be borne out a lot better at scout, ammo, and resupply relative to the other A tier players. Because like I don't have an advantage against the other A tier players in terms of my 3-hit game. The best I can hope is to hold my own. Because literally, I think the next youngest person or the next oldest person in that group is like 15 years younger than me. Like, how am I supposed to compete with that at 3-hit over the course of a week? That's really hard. Like I'm flattered I ended up in that tier, but you give me games at scout, give me games at resupply. I still feel like I can hang with those guys. Like I still feel like I'm operating at a pretty high level for those positions specifically. It's just, can I be the best player on a winning team? No, maybe not. But if I'm your second or third best player, you're probably doing okay.
Were the positions drawn by straws or by the system?
They were drawn by straws, and the wrinkle that we added this random draw that I think made it a better random draw, and I mean, I'm biased. I've suggested this system several times before, but it was that you would have one team draw positions, and whoever was their match at that tier at the other team, you played the same position. So if you're an E tier player, you do heavy, you're going to be playing against the E tier heavy on the opposite team. So keeping those things matched up, I think that's what really made the games a lot more balanced.
100%.
The idea of having it completely random, like you end up with some interesting games for sure, but it's like those games where you get the A tier player heavy on one team against the F tier player of the heavy on the other team, like especially in Loveland,
done.
It's gonna be a wipe. It's done. It's just you can't come back from that.
I agree. I think that's a better way of doing it. There's one draws and then you match.
Well, it goes to like it goes to the vibe of what you're trying to accomplish with a random draw a lot more. Like if the whole point is that it is more for fun and more for player development and more for fun, then having the same tier players play the same position across, like yes, you're just inherently going to have more balanced games.
With each team, do you have a player from each of the tiers? Is that kind of what you're okay?
Yeah, that's cool. How it's organized. Is that you create 6 tiers on purpose? That way, each team is going to get one person from each tier.
Interesting. And was there any like who was the top ranked player at the tournament?
Josiah, Turkey.
Okay, so say he's the top of the A. After you've kind of do you then try and kind of balance it so that they don't also have top of the B, or does it just kind of like whatever?
That part we didn't get to, but that's in theory why it's like you're supposed to be matched across like the best A player and the worst F player are going to be joined together so that they're going to end up on the same team. Kind of to smooth that out. So it's like, okay, well, if you got the top of 2 tiers, you're also going to get the bottom of 2 other tiers. So
okay.
Will that balance it out over time? I mean, maybe not. Again, looking at the team that won, Slaughtermelon's team, like statistically speaking, they had the best A tier player and they had the best B tier player. Right. Is it surprising they won? No, absolutely not. Like they had very favorable draw. They got the better side of like that same draw.
Was that Slaughtermelon and Odin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty good. Pretty good duo. Very good duo.
Well, especially because they've played on multiple both random draw and Nats teams. If you look at 2023, they've played on a lot of random draw teams together too, and they've won several random draw events. Like they also had Disco Monkey, who was on their winning random draw team that they had back in St. George. So it's like it was almost like a Nats type team that happened to be playing at a random draw because they have reps together. So I'm not at all surprised that they won. Again, we weren't that far behind them, and now looking at the standings, it's like, dang, if we just won like 1 or 2 more games, we could have taken it. But by the same token, both times we played Slaughtermelon's team, they 6-0'd us both times. So I can't say they didn't deserve it. Like they absolutely, especially like one of the games, Disco absolutely smashed our shit as heavy. Like he completely flattened our team.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy. Like it was inspiring to see, but it was not fun to be on the receiving end of. But like Disco had himself a game, and he really thrashed us. So I can't say they didn't deserve it. I congratulate them for getting first. They played out of their mind. Like I said, like the scores that Caleb was putting up at Medic, he had like almost a 7K game at Medic, I think, at one point during the week. Because oh man, it was just
dumb. It was dumb.
It was dumb, but yeah, good on them. Congrats to them.
Mm.
I'm perfectly happy with second place. I really enjoyed playing with my team. I thought it was a great experience. Honestly, the most meaningful thing for me during the week is that I had several people from my team come up to me like toward the end of the tournament and be like, "Hey, like thanks for like mentoring us and coaching us and explaining some things in the game and like giving us some tips going forward." Like,
yeah,
that made me feel a lot better. That's I think kind of the value that I was hoping to provide to the team that maybe I'm not going to get in terms of raw score, because I'm not going to outscore Slaughtermelon or Turkey at this stage of my career. But if I can kind of bring up those little things and suggest some gameplay mechanics and come up with a team strategy, that's where I felt it was rewarding. And the last game, the last match that we played against Fans team, I thought it was a great match. First of all, like it was just really fun to play. Yeah, but I really I felt like I saw my team put a lot of those things together, and little adjustments that I suggested earlier in the week, they were doing and they were capitalizing on. And I think that kind of helped carry us through. So I'm super proud of all those guys. And like, thank you for saying that to me, because that does make me feel good about the kind of role that I can have on that sort of team.
I think I was thinking about, because I'm a fan of like the triple threat format. Maybe being not better, but just for me a more preferable way of playing a tournament. But then I was like, well, with that format, then you don't get I don't think you get the opportunity to bring up some of the newer players, because you're not building a full team chemistry, and so therefore you don't necessarily have two of the kind of F and E tier players on your team. You might have one.
That's the difference.
Yeah, sure. And I think it's really cool to be able to do that for newer or lesser skill players or whatever, and give them some tips and help them like really build some team chemistry over those 3 days you play.
Well, and it was really gratifying to see like a lot of the E and F tier players showed like some amazing skill jumps in the
sure.
Over the course of the 3 days. Like the F tier player who was on my team, Selly, like, now granted, she was also doing a whole bunch of subbing for Saya's team, so she was getting like twice the amount of reps of everybody else, which was cool. But like she straight up was like, she had a notebook. She was taking notes for
what a nerd. Jeez.
So it's like I would give her like, I would tell her stuff, and she would like bust out the notebook and like write shit down. I'm like,
this guy seems senile.
I mean, valid. So like her skill jump from the socials on Sunday to last games on Wednesday was amazing. And as far as
super good.
And I think she's going to be going to NASA's year, so I'm going to be very interested to see how she performs once she's out in the world. Novi Swan also, like, from Wednesday or from Sunday Wednesday, like her gameplay stepped up. Fire Sword from,
they were on the winning team, by the way. Nami Swan was, so that I think also helped them on that team. Not that, again, they didn't have a lot of other really great players at their tiers, but the fact that Nami Swan like held her own and throughout the week and was always an asset against whoever's match of that tier, that was big. So I would say, both Sully and Nami Swan, huge standouts in that tier.
Awesome.
Also, and then Fire Sword, who was in E tier. That's it's another yet another Forsyth brother, because they all run through Laser Force at some point.
He
like,
lived up to the family name. I was very happy that we
Yeah,
had
no,
Firestorm as our E tier player.
Apologies
no,
for getting you sick, apparently.
That
Yeah,
also
no.
runs in the family.
Yeah, no, he like again, same sort of thing. Like his growth from Sunday to Wednesday was just like, yeah, all right.
Mhm,
You could
for sure.
you could see him, like putting things together, and I mean, yeah, the fact that DK had him on his team was obviously helpful because he's getting like that extra mentoring from someone who really knows how to do it. But again, key thing, like he was taking the information on board and implementing, which is it's just great when you see newer players doing that.
For sure.
So
Yeah, I felt like we had the best E tier player who wasn't Than. Was very much like how I felt most of the week. I'm just like,
Another
Than is the
up-and-coming player.
but I'm just like, but I like our chances against like any other E tier player because I thought that Firesword had a ton of potential. I mean, he had played a tournament in St. George previously. I think this was his first foray in another arena.
Yeah.
But yeah, was not surprised. Good, strong play, like just good instincts, takes feedback very well. Good team player. So yeah, that was good to see.
Saw Cody put a big gold, lots of stuff in chat.
Yeah.
Should I read through it real quick?
Sure.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a chat show, I guess.
Think of your tier matching, getting the rankings correct is even more important because you could, in theory, have lowest in all 6 tiers and still have a chance if you roll well and the other team doesn't. While in that same scenario, while tier matching, you have an uphill battle every game. True, that's a good point. Yeah, if you're going tier level to tier level, but I guess like I guess that comes back to how you like monitor that, right? Like you wouldn't kind of want the bottom from each tier in your team if you can help it.
And it happens more in some tiers than others. Like looking at, say, the B tier, I would look at as an example. Like I think there's much less of a gap in that tier overall because most of those people knew how to handle their business. Now, again, I think Aiden was the best player in that tier because there was discussion of whether he should be in A, but the difference there isn't like nearly as great as the difference between like Fan and the other E tier players.
Yeah.
For instance, like I think they're a lot closer in ability as far as that kind of thing went.
Yeah.
But some tiers you end up like it just depends where those breakpoints come in. Sometimes you have a little bit more of a difference from the top of the bottom to the tier. Sometimes it's like things work out pretty well. It's like, oh, actually, those 6 players are all pretty even, so this should be interesting, and we'll see where someone gets an advantage.
We kind of talked about it a couple of weeks back, with like assigning people point values and kind of trying to work it that way. But I mean, this is the nature of sport, is that not everyone is the same or the same level.
Yeah.
There are people that are you're gonna compete with that are either much better or much worse than you. It's just the nature of competition.
I think we have the right rubric for it. It's just the closer we can get to the right rubric, the right like system for doing something. The right.
Sorry,
like,
that threw me. I not heard of rubric. Oh, that's the cube with the colors. Sure. Okay.
It's just I think it is worth kind of like Luke said on his podcast that it is worth overthinking where those breakpoints should be, and just being able. It is, I think, tougher, especially at the bottom end, of trying to think like, well, how are players who don't have a ton of experience going to stack up in another arena where it's like, I just like they're okay in their own arena, but not great. So it's like, is it going to be a big downgrade in another arena, or is it they're still going to transfer effectively? So those are tough things, but the closer we can get to like having the tiers be relatively even, the more even the kind of like matching across tier will be. And
which is what you want from these tournaments.
Yeah, and I do agree with Cody up to a point that it's like, if you do have somebody who's clearly like at the bottom of their tier, they're going to be at a disadvantage every game. But I don't think that's necessarily going to be true across all positions. Usually, most players are a little bit more gifted in one or two positions relative to the others. It is a fairly rare player, I think, who is like equally talented at all 5 positions the way like they should be played in a team environment. So it's like, yeah, you might have a disadvantage in some games, but that might be made up for in another area. That it's like, okay, well, they're a better heavy, but actually this person's a much better scout, and especially they're a better scout at being supportive in this one particular way. So I don't know. I'd like to think that those things can balance out, especially if you do really embrace that kind of team philosophy of having meetings after game and having your more experienced players offer some coaching, offering some tips, learning to play as a unit, because that can kind of smooth out some of those bumps if you organize it well, I think.
So you guys did particularly well. You second and third respectively. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yep.
Nice, old boys. Well done.
Yeah. And
It's the title, not washed.
Yeah, and like DK said, we went into our last match, which was, I think it was literally like the last match of the block, or the last block of the round, and it was literally whoever wins this is, it is second with a chance for first if Caleb's team shits the bed. Obviously,
of course they didn't.
Of course they didn't, assholes. And yeah, like having the game still be meaningful deep into the second round was, yeah, I mean that literally is, and I know we said it earlier in the show, but that literally, it does show that yes, the tiers overall were just fine. Like again, for as much as it felt like maybe we were shitting on Luke a little bit during some of the discussion here, like I am like the work that he did and that the captains did, with the like, hey, let's talk through these things, like it was good, and I do feel like if if when the next random draw happens, like a very similar structure should probably be used to help keep the teams as balanced as possible. And then with the positional draws, same things, keeping the tiers, the tier positions matching. Like I feel like that is going to be the right way to do a random draw going forward.
I would prefer to play a random draw tournament that way.
Yeah.
Relative to being completely random in terms of position draws.
Well, like you said, DK, like completely random. Yeah, it can lead to some in-string matchups, but it can also just lead to some like games that are just fucking pointless.
I think it's better if the skill differential between the very best and worst players in the tournament is lower. Like the more experienced a group of players is, the more I think like having a purely random game can yield interesting results, because you're not necessarily going to end up with the complete mismatches. So if it's if everybody at the tournament could be considered at least like D tier for what we considered for this tournament,
right?
Like maybe then you do it. But when you have newer players, when you have big skill differentials, I just don't think it's as good. I think it is better to try to make the games as close as you can, so that way team differences in terms of strategy and teamwork have a bigger chance to bear out over time, as opposed to luck of the draw.
I agree, and I like completely random for like a members night, because I think you go that route if you're striving for speed. Maybe like if you're trying to smash out a bunch more games, it's easy enough to have everyone log in and then you just random the positions. Like that's way faster than trying to match. But outside of that, like and if you like the chaos of like some games one team is gonna completely shit on the other team and
then they don't.
I mean yeah. But like that stuff, like that stuff is also fun. It's just maybe it's less of a competitive format if you're outside of nets, right?
And for something like this where it's like you've got people paying decent amounts of money to get from point A to point B, with this sort of event, like you are also trying to maximize the value you're getting from your games.
But true, yeah. Would I
Yeah.
want to pay hundreds of dollars to go fly to another state and then just because of how the draws happen to work out, get completely shit on for 3 days?
Yeah.
Nah.
Like that's
It's
not
not
fun if
fun.
it's something that's beyond my control. Now it's because I played bad, that's on me. But if it's because it's
100%.
like, oh well, your players always drew shit positions against the good players on the other team, so that's why you lost.
And I
Yeah,
think, like, just even if you do lose your games, it doesn't necessarily mean that you had a bad time either. Like, in
Right.
games that are, like, there's a lot of games that I don't actually check the scores at the end of a game. Like, I don't really pay attention to who won or who lost. But, like, especially if they're close games, it's like, that was a really fucking fun game. Oh, we lost. Oh, well, fuck it. Like, that was still fun
Yeah.
as shit. Like,
Guess that's the difference between us. I always want to win.
yeah, maybe I need to increase my testosterone or something. I've got to be like that one drunk guy who's like, yeah, fuck it, I kill everyone. It's all good. I'm so good. But yeah, I don't know. I like the competition. I find the value in the competition rather than the wins. Not at Nats. At Nats, I want to win every game. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that's the difference, and maybe that's an age thing. I don't know if I've always felt this way, but maybe not. Maybe when I was,
Nah,
20.
Nah, and that's you play in to win, and
Yeah.
every game you should be wanting to win.
Yeah.
Something like this with the random draw. I mean, yes, winning is a nice bonus. Because
It's laser tag with your friends, right?
Yeah, it was laser tag with friends. For me, it's probably the only tag trip I'm going to get this year. So it probably is the only time I'm going to see, all these idiots, for 2026. And then also just the sheer, coaching aspect of it, and helping to bring newer players along. Like this tournament 100% was a success on multiple levels, and I feel like that needs to be reiterated, as many times as possible. Were there a few bumps in the road? Absolutely. Were any of those bumps in the road total game breakers? Not really. And some of those bumps were
Flare-ups.
yeah,
Sorry.
were caused by, like, it was basically the kind of the first time that Gabe had done any real tournament coordinating, and it sounds like that there was a little bit of falling into the not reaching out to people for a certain amount of assistance, which people would have been happy to provide. So you ran into issues like the thing with the timing, where there wasn't enough time allotted to be able to actually get through finals. So the elimination finals was on the schedule originally. It got dropped because we didn't have enough time, and part of the reason we didn't have enough time is because the games were going longer than expected because of the way the teams were, and the timing just didn't allow for it. And that's a mistake that, if you're a first-time tournament coordinator, you're potentially going to make. Well, you're never going to make it again, and better to make it at this type of tournament where it's like, oh, well, lesson
we still
learned.
get to play tag. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
we still get to play
Yeah.
tag. It didn't actually negatively impact anything.
I think finals would have made the event worse, to be perfectly honest.
100%, hard agree. Like, it was like there was definitely a point at which there was like, okay, no, we don't. Not only do we not have time, but there's no, like, if the goal of the event is to have fun and then be able to do socials and all that, then let's just get through the rounds. And what did we end up doing? Like, like 3 or 4 hours of socials after we were done.
Yeah, we
Like,
played pretty late that night.
That's awesome.
yeah. So, yeah. Again, like big hats off to both Gabe and Tucker because I know Gabe did a lot of the organization work. I know Tucker did a lot of work. Tucker took time off from work to come and be able to help
Yeah,
do
do that and not to be able to play.
daily stuff.
Huge sacrifice.
Yeah, and yeah, it cannot say enough good things about the actual result of the tournament and how it was run. Again, was it perfect? No, but they never are.
Yeah.
And this was definitely like pretty up there as far
That's
as
right.
the things that went wrong were either oh, okay, that's just a lack of experience and it'll never happen again, or something that was just basically completely out of the control of
Wolves.
all of us.
Sometimes wolves happen, and
Correct.
you can't do anything about it except for shoo them away. Did you guys see the blood moon?
Yeah.
So cool.
The lunar eclipse? Yeah.
Yeah, the lunar eclipse.
I don't think we're talking about the same thing.
Oh, yeah. Gabe got a lot of free food.
Absolutely. So this actually is one thing that I do want to specifically call out as being a fantastic use of the tournament money. So basically, we had dinner catered in all 3 nights.
Barbecue in the park?
No, it was not. I mean, we did have barbecue. We did have barbecue one night, but it was not in the park. And for like what Gabe managed to like get us for food for what we had paid for basically for each night,
super good,
fucking great, like absolutely fucking great. So yeah, on a list of things that were good, that was so on it. It was so nice to like not have to leave to go get dinner. It was kind of cool. It's like, oh, the food's here and it's catered. Sweet. So we're just gonna like sit, eat, be social.
Yeah.
Everybody is still here. So you didn't have that fucking issue where somebody's, people have gone to get food and that's taken longer than they think it's going to, and they're supposed to get back and they're not back. And it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
It makes like an hour or 90-minute break feel like an actual break.
Yeah.
Because especially if you only have like an hour for lunch, like just driving to and from where you're getting is probably like half of that.
Yeah.
Just right
Even
off the bat.
like
And it just you don't have time to actually get your food, come back and eat. And by the time you're like halfway through, it's like, okay, it's time to play.
We're gonna go.
Oh, I'm gonna fucking shit myself right now. So what do you want from me, bro?
So like even like at Brisbane, walking around the corner to the fried chicken place, like even that takes that time. Like so yeah, 100%. It's kind of cool to just have it turn up and like cool, break starts now and you're now eating and socializing and stuff. That's really cool. I would like to see that as an implemented thing for Nats.
Most everything.
Yeah. Even if we have to pay more in entry fees, I think that most players would definitely say that that's worth it.
Yeah, like we stop for a lunch break. But I think like because we don't often stop for like an hour lunch break, right? Like we only really stop.
No, we have the last several Nats. There's always been like a meal break, like
every day.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, bro.
I don't know why I'm not remembering.
Maybe there wasn't on the Monday in Brisbane because we might have had to like go through and it's like, well, you have to go get food on your buy. But I think every other day we definitely had a lunch break.
I suppose, and it depends on like your turnout, right? Because how many teams were playing? 5, 6?
6.
So 6, I think 6 is almost the magic number for me for tournaments. But like 8 is better. But like anything more than that, and you can't afford everyone to take an hour off during the middle of the day. If you had 12 teams, like just eat when you can.
Yeah, well, you have teams that it's like you're gonna have like a double buy block or something like that. It's like, okay, that's gonna be your break. So, and if that happens early in the day, well, get some food from the store, something that you can eat out of the package later because you might
Yeah.
not get a break for the next 8 hours of the tournament or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it sucks, but
You
that is
might have
the
to
cost of
graze
larger.
like multiple days,
Yeah, that is
graze for
the
days.
the cost of larger tournaments, though.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
you have to start making those cuts.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
it worked
unless
out
you
great
were,
in Auckland because with that 6 teams, I built a lunch
yeah,
break into every day of the schedule.
yeah, exactly. And like, yeah, that's why I like 6 to 8 teams for me. Like, just I really like if you have 6 to 8 high quality teams playing,
Yeah.
that's the magic number. But yeah, if you can get more, but the quality starts to diminish, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's still cool to have, 10 teams where maybe 2 of them like, go head to head to each other for the week. But
Yeah.
yeah,
If it's gonna end up kind of like bringing more people into the community, it's definitely worth it for the
100%.
fact that
Yeah.
you're maybe not gonna have every game be at the absolute highest caliber.
Yeah,
Like if you're gonna get even one team's worth of new players who are gonna return to the tournament scene, like
mm.
that's huge. That's what's gonna keep things alive. So yeah.
Having and I just make the comparisons to what I've just seen the zone
Yeah.
community do. They, because of the sheer volume of people they have playing, like you have out like a few hours a day where you're not scheduled to
Playing,
be
yeah.
anywhere, or reffing or whatever. So you can afford to go back to your accommodation and nap, or like have a shower, change your clothes, like all that sort of stuff. So maybe it's when the numbers blow out and you start having like week and a half long tournaments, then you can kind of work around it. But yeah, pretty cool. I was told, so I hadn't really given it much thought, but like they do with all the stuff that they do up there, like they've got like doubles and triples and
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. I hadn't thought about the fact that like their teams break apart from the team games and then compete against each other. And so like
Yes.
they're like, you could have in a game like that full team is now playing and they can kind of finagle things. Like if one partner's peer, like they're like, okay, those 2 players we want to do really well, let's all gang up on everyone else. I was like, that's sneaky. It's
Dodgy.
really tricky. I got like an earful from a certain player about like how unhappy he was with certain members of their team for screwing them out of partners.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing I could see happening.
Yeah,
But
won't name names though.
yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting kind of thing because that's purely a kind of cultural decision, right? Like, is that an acceptable kind of like, well, in terms of strategy for the overall game, like
I think it's part
being
of it.
that kind of kingmaker role
Yep.
is legitimate. But I could easily see you also making the argument. It's just like, well, no, we've decided like as a tournament scene that is considered dishonorable, and you wouldn't do that kind of thing, and like we would consider that to be a dirty pool. Like I can't say
Yeah.
either of those positions is wrong per se, because
Yeah.
again, it's like trying to explain the shielding rule to people in other systems. Just like, why would you ever play this way? It's like, well, because we've decided as a community that things like movement and being able to actually take positions really is more of a emphasis for us in the game
Yeah.
than the absolute ability to just do a quick shot around a wall, that kind of thing. That is a purely cultural decision. Like I can't
Yeah.
say that it's objectively a better way to play. I prefer to play that way. I think I have good reasons for that. But that is a purely kind of like cultural artifact for
Yeah.
how the community's evolved and what we have decided to emphasize.
It'd be hard to police it though, I guess. I mean, there might be egregious parts, but like if you were doing it in a tricky enough way, I think I like it as a kingmaker thing. It kind of reminds me of like motorsport, like if you have if you have team members in your race, but they're overall point standings, they're like, okay, cool, I'm gonna shake a bake slingshot you around these guys. Like, yeah, it's interesting. It's a whole nother dynamic to the game. It's kind of cool. Everyone will take each game mode with different levels of seriousness. I agree. Like if you were like, I'll do my best. I'm more of a support role player for our, team game, but like I really want to win doubles,
Right.
like with my partner. So can you guys make that happen for me? It's like, yeah, we can do that, or we can try and
Yeah,
do that.
There's a weird thing that I wonder in like the evolution of Sacramento Laser Tag back in the day, because we used to do a lot of like kind of individual tournaments. We had a lot of Masters and Highlander tournaments,
Mm.
and
Yes,
that
we
was
did.
considered to have a lot of prestige and bragging rights behind it.
Yeah.
Like Lejeune got to make hay out of the fact that he was like the 3-time consecutive Highlander champion for like years afterward. That was like a big thing. That was like, oh yeah, you don't want to go up against Jeff in Highlander; he'll fucking thrash you, type of thing. But I wonder,
Yeah.
like, did I lose interest in like playing stuff like Masters because I just started playing more Space Marines, or is that just like the natural evolution? It's like if we had kept having Masters events, would I have continued to care about that? Because it's like, well, there's still bragging rights that are attached to that. So
I think that is a interesting thing with our competitive side as a whole is we put all of our care, all of our stock is in Space Marines 5, right? This team game, and
it's the best game.
it is, and it means that like we don't really care. I mean, you look at Brisbane, they don't play anything but Space Marines. Like, they don't care about laser tag as a game, whereas like you know, watching the Zone community play all these different events, they are fundamentally in a lot of ways better laser tag players than me specifically. But like, I think they are, you know, like I can do the comparison. I'm like, these guys are so accurate and play laser tag really well, but you know, they can't play Space Marines because it's a whole different thing. Yeah. It's just the most complicated high skill ever game. Exactly right. It's like it's that chess versus checkers thing, right? Yeah. You do care about the other games, but you're raised in a different tag community with different approach. Yeah, but that's because you guys play different game modes and put your stock in different game modes. That's what we're saying.
Well, I think the way that Fan and I came up actually is not that different. It's just the generations that came after us, partly because they were trained by people like me and Fan, they really prioritized Space Marines much more quickly.
Yeah.
Because it was one of those things that just like we had to discover Space Marines as a site. So it wasn't just me and Fan, it was like our whole site. Like we loaded up the Space Marines 5 game. We knew what the positions did, but we didn't really know how this game is supposed to play. Like it took weeks to figure out the fact that you could double resupply.
Yeah.
We thought that because everybody thought that Scout was like the bomb-ass position in Space Marines 4, that Scout must be equally good in Space Marines 5. And Commander was like where you put the crappy player in Space Marines 4. And all of a sudden they're like the best player in Space Marines 5. So like we had to figure all of those things out. There was no like really, other than the game description, there was nothing that was handed to us. So we had to like learn all the other game modes because that was important building. So
for sure,
I feel like where you're coming from, Lucy, because I think that, you know, that was pretty similar for me and Dan. It's just that was literally almost 30 years ago now. So it's like far more of our career has been at the upper echelons of playing Space Marines 5.
Yeah,
literally almost 30 years ago, bro.
It's literally just past 29 years playing. Oh fuck.
Shame. Old. I think Auckland as a community got taught SM5 from the Wellington players, I think.
Yeah.
You
would have.
That wouldn't surprise me.
But they got trained by the Brisbane players, or Brisbane or Oakley. I'm not sure.
It was so Stallion made the trip to Newcastle in '99 when I did, and that's when he basically got taught Space 5 by the teams there. Like he played with the Ballarat team. That trip, but he would have learned stuff from the Brisbane players and the Oakley players. Not Al, because Al wasn't at that tournament.
When was that?
He's Al.
No, it was '99.
Oh, yeah. We played Space Marines in 02. I didn't, but Auckland hosted. So then at that point, when Stallion went back to Wellington and taught them, and then they came up and. When did you say 90?
99.
Oh yeah, because I think Auckland opened in 99. I think. It was the end of 99, start of 2000. I can't remember which one.
And I'm pretty sure Wellington made their first trip up in like late 2000, early 2001. That sounds about right.
Did you go to Australia? Was that before or after the first US Net stand?
was before because it was
Before the Nats, okay.
yeah because so and because like that was kind of the impetus for starting the first U.S.
Yeah,
Nats, and
I
it
mean,
just
I knew they were linked. I just couldn't remember if it was like,
and it
oh, well,
just
I'm going to one because we planned this other one, rather than like, oh, well,
no
I
it
went to
was
this other one. We should do this in the States.
no in terms of in terms of timing.
Mm-hmm.
I had bought my ticket for Newcastle, and then happened to find Goofball on the old Alt Sport Laser Tag Usenet group.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was how that happened.
Yep. That's Jeff, the owner of Loveland
Yeah.
Laser Works, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
For people who aren't familiar with his old code name.
Yeah. And like and just kind of went from there and the first tournament, like it had to be in Sugarland in '99 because like none of their players were old enough to travel.
Mm.
Like
Mhm.
like almost all of them were under 18, and
A lot of them
so
were under like 15.
yeah, and so it was a case of like well, we're generally older. I mean, even though we're all late teens or early 20s, but that's old enough to be able to travel for the most part.
Mm.
And and obviously took some of the kids with us. DK.
Shocked my parents let me go.
I'm shocked that they did too. If I'm
It
being
was the
perfectly
best,
honest.
worst decision they ever made.
Certainly up there.
It's a lifetime of a nasty habit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just get me addicted to heroin. Thanks, mom and dad.
So just from that timing aspect, yeah, that's all that was.
Sometimes I wish I'd have utilized our fax machine more. Just thinking about that. I wish I had utilized that better and sent more faxes. It would have been a.
Is this a comment about us being old, or is the edibles just kicked in at this particular moment?
Yeah, I'm like bro. Generally, I can keep up when you make random jumps. I don't know what the fuck that's referencing. So you want to like elucidate that for us?
Nah.
Not just gonna abandon ship.
You can abandon ship.
Okay.
We'll cut that one out in post. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. No, we'll leave it in. I'll send you facts.
Ooh, good thing this isn't live. Thank God.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you guys had a really good time.
Yeah, 100%.
We had a
Faxes
mean time, as you would say.
Faxes were cool. It was like an exciting phone call. It was like an abusive phone call that ended with art. Like a worse form of photocopying. It was so garbage. Anyway, yeah, it sounds like a good time was had by all. I hope everyone got value out of the tournament. Because when you do, that's what keeps you coming back.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And if I think if the week, whilst it can like competitive, anything can get aggressive, but I think as long as it's like, positively aggressive, then yeah.
Yeah, I think the only real like kind of our moment was
When
Vulcan
the
being super pissed off that he drew Medic 7 matches in a row.
That's
which was kind of hilarious on a variety of levels.
I wanted every tournament. Again, remember, Grack drew fucking 17 out of 24 heavy games in one of the random draw tournaments. So just like, yeah, Grack got the draw that Vulcan probably would have wanted, and Vulcan got the draw that Grack probably would have wanted. So random draw has a way of like helping you confront your fears and give you some exposure therapy to the roles that you're not as comfortable with.
Absolutely.
I reckon there should be some sort of trophy or like an award for that. Getting those draws that you don't want several times in a row.
Yeah. I drew an inordinate amount of scout games, but I was surprised to find I did not have the most scout games. Like I drew 9 out of we played 20 games.
20 games.
Almost half my games were at scout, but I think
Luke had 11.
Yeah,
Luke
Luke
had
had
11.
11. So
Scout,
he was
Scout, you can
well,
kind of
more than
understand.
half.
Like, I
Yeah,
saw
like
Caleb drew like 7 meta games. That's
he drew quite a few meta games, and the fact
Yeah.
that didn't like really slow their team down, that to me also suggests that it's like, well, yeah, they definitely deserved their win because
Yeah.
they just operated very well as a unit. It wasn't dependent on them. It was like, oh well, of course Caleb drew like 15 commander games, so of course they smashed everyone. It's like, no, they kind of drew a fair balance of different stuff, and they
Yeah.
performed well head to head and just as an overall team.
I was kind of looking for that. I was looking for, you know, whether or not that was kind of a factor in them winning, but yeah, it was like kind of the opposite. Well,
Yeah.
just on that, so if you're drawing, let's say you draw Medic a bunch of times, and then it turns out that the people that you're matching against also draw Medic a bunch of times, is that just, oh well, that's tough shit?
Tough shit.
Yeah,
I like that.
what happens?
I like that. That's tough shit, mate. Tough shit.
Yeah.
Um,
there weren't a lot of people who I don't think completely skipped playing any position. Like I think most everybody drew everything at least once, or at least drew every category at least once. It's like there wasn't anybody who like, oh, I never drew a 3-hit. Like I said, I only drew true 3-hit games the entire week, and that was perfectly fine. With me. Like I actually do credit that to why my team, I think, ended up in second place, is the fact that I wasn't having to fight some of those other guys at the top spots every single game. Like I did okay the 2 games that I did play 3-hit, but not having to do it like several times per day.
What tier player were you?
I was an A. So I was
tier,
matched
okay.
up against Josiah, Slaughtermelon, Snuffles, Calkins, and Luke. So again, everybody is a good, like 14, 15 years younger than me. They've all had a lot more relevant like 3-hit experience at tournaments more recently.
They're in their peak.
Again, like I can hang, like I can get my shit together when I need to.
What's up, guys?
But yeah, I'm not going to those games being like, man, I'm gonna smash these guys. It's more like, I hope I don't let my team down.
Yeah.
How you doing, fellow kids?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any final thoughts you guys want to share before we get the fuck out of here?
Nah,
perfect.
Just a great tournament. Great experience. We'll have to do it again.
It was really good fun. Again, I am a big fan of the tier matching system. I appreciate Cody's arguments for why the other system sometimes can smooth things out as well. But for me personally, I prefer this way. I would love to see more random draw tournaments organized this way. My hat's off to Gabe, to Tucker, and to Luke for all their organization behind the scenes stuff. I finally caught up with all the Zap reports and all that kind of stuff, so I'm keeping up in the Laser Force media. I'm glad that we were able to stream the event. The camera placement was really good. The stream quality this time, though, not so good. There was a lot of desyncing. I think it was just there was too much demand on the bandwidth for trying to do the traditional score screen, the kind of like wildcard version of the score screen, and have the cameras up. I'm sorry, the Loveland internet could not handle all of that. So there was a lot of desyncing from that. So things to work on for next time. We work more on the stream. But again, the stream is, to me, like a bonus. The priority should be on the people who were there, and the people who were there, I think, had a great time. So,
100%.
Thumbs up from me.
Right. We'll be playing some laser tag again this week. Hopefully we get a few more zone players kind of at the tail end of their trip. I know that apparently Taipan's coming out, but we'll see. I'm pretty sure everyone else is traveling home either today or tomorrow. So travel safe to all of you guys. Hope you enjoyed your time out in our neck of the woods. We have one more show next week. We should be on with the Resupply podcast, and then we'll be taking.
We do?
Yeah, next week, yes. But then the following 3 weeks we won't. So, unless something pops up, am I forgetting something for next week?
No, I thought you had said we were gonna be off starting next week, but
no. We should still have one more show. So we'll have one more show, and then we'll be on break for 3 weeks probably.
We were on a break.
yeah, so come join us, come hang out. We'll talk more about stuff. Maybe we'll talk more about zone stuff. Probably not. Like I saw Leech at the start was like, oh, how you only fit everything in 20 minutes because none of us watched it. I talked about the stuff I was there to see, which was like, I don't know, a couple of hours of some round robin tag and then people getting drunk. So yeah, I know. But yeah, come join us next week. Thank you for hanging out with us today. It's nice to see everyone. I like doing this show. It's nice to see you guys. It's nice to talk about laser tag with the both of you. But for this week, I have been Guy Next Door.
I've been DK.
And I've been Van.
Always remember to backtrack, kids. We will see you next week. Ka kite anō.